Mr. Jack Rausch is a research associate at United Against Nuclear Iran. He's now joining us live from London. Mr. Rausch, thank you very much for making time for us and welcome. Let's try and decode what's happening at the border of Israel and Lebanon. And despite Israel's efforts to eliminate Hezbollah, the militant group has remained defiant, and unlike in Gaza, it's even forcing the IDF to retreat from the borders. In your view, what's giving the group the zeal or the capability to keep the fighting going?
Thank you for having me. The fundamental difference between Hezbollah and Hamas is that Hezbollah's links to Iran are much closer and much stronger. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was involved in the formation of Hezbollah, and since the 1980s, Iran has supplied Hezbollah with a steady stream of financial and material support. That includes the rockets and drones that Hezbollah has used in the past year against Israel on a near daily basis, and the small arms that are currently being used against the Israeli offensive. This capability that Hezbollah has, thanks to Iran's support, it goes beyond what Hamas has and has enabled Hezbollah's actions at this scale.
Mr. Rausch, in the past weekend, Prime Minister Netanyahu ordered Antonio Guterres to withdraw United Nations peacekeepers from harm's way, basically saying they will be targeted. And if there are casualties, don't say I didn't warn you. Critics call it a scapegoat. Your reaction?
So UNIFIL, its current mission was to prevent the militarization of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, beginning in 2006. Since then, UNIFIL has come under criticism from many quarters, in particular because it has failed to prevent that militarization. Hezbollah itself has criticized UNIFIL and claimed that UNIFIL has acted in favor of Israel or Israel's wider interests. And for this reason, UNIFIL has come under a lot of criticism, and it seems as though it might be more of a liability for countries that are participating than a benefit, even for the people of Lebanon.
Please explain that for your final point there. I just want to understand, please explain to our viewers how it's going to be a liability for these countries that they work under or in.
Yes, so UNIFIL is comprised of numerous participatory countries. Some countries have participated for brief periods of time. Some have participated over the course of the current mission beginning in 2006. But because UNIFIL has failed to complete its aim of preventing the militarization of Hezbollah, soldiers within UNIFIL have come under fire repeatedly, including from Hezbollah forces and even Christian militias like the Southern Lebanon Army. Because of this, participation in UNIFIL could be a liability for countries who do not wish to see their soldiers put at risk. Of course, the killing of or injuring of UN peacekeepers is abhorrent, but it seems as though the mission has been unfulfilled and continued participation puts soldiers at risk.
All right. Our final question to you, Mr. Rausch. Despite huge logistical damages on both sides, one end, which is Lebanon, is continuously calling for a ceasefire, whereas both IDF and Hezbollah maintain the bring it on demeanor. In your view, who can convince Israel and save Lebanon?
Well, we've seen the international community make calls for ceasefires. That includes the European Union and the United States, and perhaps the deployment of a U.S. THAAD missile defense system to Israel is part of that process. We've also seen the U.S. in the past try to restrain Israeli responses, particularly after Iran's attack against Israel in April. But it remains to be seen if such efforts will succeed. Ultimately, the U.S. and the European Union and other states likely see it in their interest that Hezbollah is diminished in its capability, considering Hezbollah has acted against the United States, against the European Union, and against a range of other states in the past.
All right, we'll have to end it there. I've been talking to Mr. Jack Rausch. He's a research associate at United Against Nuclear Iran. Mr. Rausch, thank you for your time and for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.